It appears the privacy settings on your phone and computer may not be so private after all. The Wall Street Journal, which is owned by the parent company of this network, reports companies like Google have been tracking the internet habits of millions of people who use the Safari web browser, even when their settings supposedly block it. Safari comes standard with Apple computers as well as iPhones and iPads. Google responding by announcing it immediately halted the secret tracking, and the company pointed out personal information was never at risk. Today, a spokesman for Apple said, and I'm quoting here, "We are aware that some third parties are circumventing Safari's private features, and we are working to put a stop to it." Joining us now is Jeremy Kaplan. He's science and technology editor for FoxNews.com. And our legal panel is back, former prosecutor Steve Razor and criminal defense attorney Randy Zellen. And Jeremy, I guess the question is, do the privacy settings on our phones simply don't work?
In some ways, that is exactly what we're seeing. One of the privacy settings, at least. And really what this is an interesting case of what we want versus what the advertisers want. The advertisers want to sell us things in a better way, and they want to gather as much information on us as possible. Unfortunately, there's been this little workaround that they've come up with to circumvent some of the privacy settings that were built in to prevent them from tracking us. So it makes it easier for advertisers. Is it illegal? I don't know if it's illegal, but it's definitely kind of ugly.
I don't know, Randy. Maybe it's not illegal, but if I put my privacy setting on my phone, I guess I'm telling Google that I do not want to be tracked. And if they circumvent that, as Jeremy says, I think that's pushing the legal barriers.
Circumvention is such an ugly, ugly word. Remember, Google is here to heighten your surfing experience. They want a customization for you. If you Google Randy Zellen, you don't want to accidentally get Brad Pitt. That happens. You want to get stuff on Randy Zellen. So the reality is they have a right to do it because it's incident to what they do. They're not invading your privacy. They're there to help you. So bottom line is they are here to help us, not hurt us.
You know, he's got a good point, Steve, because let's face it, you go on to Google, and I was just checking some ski stuff last week, and you get inundated with requests from lodges and airfares and stuff, so you know they're tracking you. I mean, is this just expected when we go on the internet?
It can be, sure, and it also can be very useful to the consumer, to the user. How about allowing the user to have the choice as to whether or not they would like to receive that service? There is a point where we have to draw a line and say, you don't tell me what's good for me. You give me the freedom of choice to choose for myself. When I click on that privacy setting, you cannot override that. That's what they chose to do, and they are pushing the line of legality into illegality. And if there isn't already a law to cover it, Congress better get to work.
I was interested, Jeremy, because Google came out and said, you know, the reason we did this was to actually improve the way your phone operates. You buy that?
A nice fancy way of saying it. I don't think they meant anything. I think what they were doing was, this was a way to enable some of the Google Plus social networking functionality. They want to let you click a button that says, I plus won this, I like this thing, and they want to pass that information along to your friends. However, the reality is Google's not just a search engine. They are a gigantic advertising firm. That's where they make their money. So yes, they want to enable this social networking. They also enabled the advertising. Intentionally, maybe not, but it sure is kind of ugly.
Trace.
Jeremy Kaplan, I got to go, guys. Steve Razor and playing the part of Brad Pitt, Randy Zellen. Gentlemen, thank all of you. It was great stuff.